Well, hello. So how are you guys today? Hope you're doing good. My name is Andy, if you're new here, and thanks very much for looking in, and I'm fine. Thanks for asking. So we're going to go through all the star signs now. Sorry, this video is a bit late coming out, but I'm teaching myself a whole new way of editing video, which has been something of a journey through hell, but sure it'll pay off in the end. This time, if it focuses, we're going to use Tarot in Wonderland here, okay, because it's feeling a bit lonely. I haven't used this in a video for about a week now, I think, which is remarkable for me, because I love to use that deck. But anyway, let's go over to the table and see what we've got. And here we have got 3 cards for the sign of Aries. So, as per usual, you can pick a card. You can pick card 1, card 2, card 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, whichever you want, but we are going for it. This is card number 1. So let's see what we've got for Aries in this reading. And it is the 3 of Pentacles. Right, so we're off to a pretty good start there, actually, with the Pentacles. Number 3 is kind of early on in the Pentacles journey thing, but it suggests that, you know, there's a lot of potential in whatever it is you're thinking about doing at the moment. If you picked all 3, of course, this is the beginning of something, and we'll see where we actually go as we go through the spread. But whether you're doing something by yourself, or planning to do something by yourself, or you're going to involve other people in it, you kind of got to decide that first of all. But you need to really have a good blend of inspiration and planning and experience so that you actually create something that you can be proud of. Now, this can be something you do entirely on your own, but this card suggests that it's going to work better if you see it as a team, sort of team effort. Whatever you're trying to actually achieve is going to be worth a lot more than what you put into it. You know, there's abundance indicated here. And so everybody who gets involved with this is likely to end up feeling that they're part of something bigger than themselves. So it's a real bigging up thing. If you are going to work on your own, though, do engage every aspect of yourself. You know, really put your whole self into it to get the best results. Teamwork, creation, skilled work, making something of value, contributing to a worthwhile project, and highlighting abilities are what's really indicated here. So there we have card number 1. That's a really positive start, actually, but it is only a start. Let's see where we go with card number 2. If you pick card number 2, this is for you, and it's the 3 of Wands. Now, if you picked all 3, this is actually the heart of the matter, and it's a very positive card again, actually, that's come out here. This isn't about, you know, passively hanging around and waiting for something to happen that might happen or might not happen. This is actually active waiting, you know, really trying to put some effort into the thing, even while you're waiting, even while it feels like there's nothing much you can do, because he's looking at his watch. The ships are coming in. There's nothing can really stop whatever's indicated in the ships here coming towards him. But he doesn't actually know whether it's going to pay off or not yet. He has put the effort in, though, and he's looking at his watch and he's thinking, oh, you know, what's going to happen here? What's coming in next? But although there's nothing he can physically do, he can have his manifesting head on, you know. And if this is your card, or if you picked all 3, or this is one of your cards, then, you know, get your manifesting head on. It's one of my favourite expressions. We do all have them, and I know that many people who watch this channel have the ability to manifest. If you think you're not one of them, just visualise and believe, and you will start to see results, I'm sure, particularly if you pick this card, because this is very good news. The trick is to just do everything you can to cut the risk out of the thing, you know, and then just actively wait. Have those manifesting thoughts on, meditate, visualise, see it happening, ask the angels if you need to. Keywords with this card: it's optimistic, there's expectations, the law of attraction gets involved. It's, you know, making sure that you're prepared. You have to sometimes prepare for a lot of different things to make the thing work out the way you want it to, but preparation, it's actually coming up to a culmination. It's looking like a return on an investment, and it's all about focus as well. So there we have card number 2 for the sign of Aries, and let's see what we've got for card number 3. Did you pick card number 3? Let's see what it says. It's the moon. It's the major arcana. It's number 18 and it is the moon card. There we go. Now if you picked a spread, if you picked the whole 3, this is the outcome card. If you just pick this card, then what I'm going to say now is essentially for you. And the moon card is very often about things that are uncertain, things that we're unsure of, and there is always the danger of being kind of guided by a false light. The way we can see kind of dogs barking at the moon here, just trying to get that in so it doesn't glimmer in the light too much. But you see there's the 2 dogs there barking at the moon. And, you know, is the moon actually going to do anything because of the dogs barking at it? Probably not. But you never know. Dogs can manifest things too, I guess. That's very often how it works. But sometimes we actually need to have that awareness that we don't know all the facts about a situation, and it's maybe not time to decide anything yet, because it can be very, very hard to make a good decision in this situation. It could be someone's actually keeping a secret from you as well. I mean, that's something to think about. You're going to know about that in your own life, and even if you just got an inkling that someone isn't telling you the whole truth, the whole story, there's probably something in that. You know, we have that inner psychic guidance going on all the time. So you might want to look into that. You might want to ask yourself, you know, are you getting the right advice? Is the whole thing going the way that you want it to and you need to? You could easily be led to believe an illusion when this card comes up. And that's very often coming from a place of fear within yourself, you know. It's easy to miss those warnings because you don't actually want to trust your own intuition, and I really hope that as people watch this channel they'll become more confident in trusting their own intuition, because it's a powerful thing and it really does work. So keywords with this one: secrets, illusions, deception, imagination, mystery, subconscious, confusion, falsehood, cycles, bewilderment, anxiety, insecurity, dreams, nightmares, visions and psychic ability. So there's a lot of plus, there's a lot of minus with this card. You really kind of got to work things out for yourself. So there are the 3 cards from Aries. This is, if you picked all 3, this really is the heart of it. This is what it's all about. Don't just kind of wait doing nothing. Put everything you can in to the whole idea of manifesting what you're trying to bring into reality. I've got a bit of rose quartz there, and it's well, it's just in the middle because that's where I put it, but it just turns up by happenstance over this middle card here. So 3 of Wands suggests your ships are coming in. All of this is actually very positive, even the moon, because the moon suggests that, you know, you need to kind of be more sure about things. But when you get a card like this, it's telling that you actually could do something to be more sure about what's going on. You actually could put more manifestational energy in and get a result. Just make sure you're not being falsely guided. That's the bottom line. So that is Aries. Okay, let's move on, and we'll pick out some cards. Ooh. Oh, put my microphone off, excuse me. Just make a horrible noise here. There, that's got it back on again. Okay, right, so let's put these 3 away. Put them over to one side, actually. And we'll take the next 3 off the top for the sign of Taurus. So there is card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Now, I have actually inverted them all, but that's because I'm holding the whole deck the wrong way around. See? So I'll put them the right way up, because there's no point in reading those as inversions. That is just not how they were meant to come out. So, okay, that's them. So we put the main deck, let's put it the right way up. It's the best way to do it. You know what it's like, some cards are meant to fall out, some are meant to be upside down, and sometimes you just got the deck the wrong way up, which is all that's happening there. So let's see what we've got for the sign of Taurus. 1, 2 or 3, or all 3 or 2 of them, it's entirely up to you. But let's turn over card number 1. Ace of Wands, right, this is a positive start again, actually. Now, this is very promising. It's maybe not anything that's in place and happening right now. It could be happening now, or it could be coming up in the fairly near future. It's a promise of an opportunity to really kind of change your will or some idea that you've had into something real. And that is so much, you know, of manifestation, is bringing ideas out of the subconscious mind and making them real. This is what happens when artists paint pictures or write a piece of music. Something from the inner mind comes out and becomes actually real. Now, with this card, there's probably going to be a lot of effort involved in doing that. It could be quite a hard thing to do. It could be quite a frustrating path. What we sometimes say about the Ace of Wands is it's like trying to start a fire by rubbing sticks together and trying to make a video with a camera that doesn't focus too much. If I put my hand in the way, so I'll stop doing that quite so much, I think. But what we have actually got, you see, we've got the candle there centre stage and the wand coming in from the side. So there's the human effort of the wand and there's the spiritual magic of the candle. So whatever you put into this, ask the angels, ask for spiritual guidance, ask for some help along those lines, and you will actually get somewhere a lot faster. It might still take time. Keywords here: desire, passion, will, drive, inspiration, potency, energy, enterprise. And for those things to work, you'll need the other keywords, which are confidence, courage, optimism, setting goals, and invention. So that is card number 1 for the sign of Taurus. If you picked that one, that is where it's at. But now, did you pick this one or did you pick all 3? In which case, this is the heart of the matter. What have we here? We have the Seven of Swords. Now then, this is quite complicated, actually. The chances are that someone has done something that looks suspicious and probably isn't as bad as it looks. It would be quite easy to just decide that someone's guilty of hiding something from you or tricking you. But there's other things that don't entirely make sense. You know, is he actually stealing the swords because he wants to steal something and do something bad? Or is he actually then going to go back to whoever's in charge of the camp and say, look, your security's no good. It was just too easy for me to pick up these swords and pinch them. There are 2 swords still left there, though. And as always with the swords, there's something to think about, something to decide. And the question is, you know, is this actually a bad thing that's been happening, or is it actually pointing the way to something better? Now, if you've been wronged, take heed of that. You know, just don't be quite so quick to judge other people, but try and see if there's more to the thing. You know, if you're actually planning to do something, on the other hand, make sure that it is actually in tune with your intent, with what you want to actually make happen, because intent is absolutely everything in any kind of spiritual practice. The trick is just not let anything come into your behavior, your outward behavior, that could be taken the wrong way. If there is, someone's bound to jump on it. It's not fair at all, but some will take the look of guilt as actual guilt. So there's a question to ask yourself here, and this is actually the heart of the matter if you picked all 3. Well, it's the heart of the matter if you pick this one just on its own as well. That's a fact of life. Keywords here: stealing, rescuing, stealth, dishonesty, sabotage, sneakiness, traitor, spy. Gosh, that's quite a negative sounding list. But people tend to feel quite negative when we get the Seven of Swords. Doesn't mean the situation's negative, but it means that someone somewhere thinks it is. Is that you? Or is that someone thinking something about you? Well, whoever it is, you know, that person just kind of needs to look at both sides of the story, even though it might seem that there's only one side to the story. That's the hidden bit there. That's the tricky bit about it, okay? So, there we have card number 2. Let's turn over card number 3 and see what we've got here. And it's the Page of Wands. Now, this is of a much more cheerful character, actually. The pages are always pretty sort of optimistic people. So the Page of Wands, really, it could be a young person. It doesn't have to be a young person, but it's essentially someone who doesn't have a lot of experience at what they're actually trying to do. Now, this could be you, or it could be someone around you. That's the other side of it. But the Page of Wands is kind of brave and creative and energetic, has a lot of good ideas, and whatever the Page of Wands is lacking in practical experience, they've got the enthusiasm to make up for it. You know, they can make things happen. Quite easily embarrassed, so you kind of got to be gentle if you're dealing with someone else that's the Page of Wands. If you're the Page of Wands in this situation, just try and act out of confidence, okay? There's lots of things that can knock your confidence. I know a lot of people worry about making YouTube videos, and they'd like to make them, but they sort of lack confidence because they think everyone's going to think they look dreadful. But that's just because, you know, all of us look in the mirror and we can't change what we're actually seeing in the mirror. So we tend to think of ourselves as ugly or imperfect in ways that other people really wouldn't notice. So try and have as much confidence as you can, and if you're working with other people or a person, try to give them all the confidence that you can as well. The key words here are message, student, young or inexperienced person, supporter, enthusiasm, energy, creativity, sensitive ego. Okay, and we all know about sensitive egos. It's not a crime to have an ego, it's very natural, but we can all get that bit sort of oversensitive about it. So there we go, those are the cards for the sign of Taurus. Let's just gather those up, put them to one side again. So this brings us to the sign of Gemini. I've taken the top three, let's put those to one side a bit where they're not interfering. So card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3, and I've got them the right way up this to the way up they're meant to be. Sometimes upside down or reversed is the right way, but in this case not yet. And they actually came out of the deck that way, so great stuff. So which one are you drawn to, Gemini? Are you drawn to number 1, number 2, or number 3? The choice is yours. Are you drawn to all 3 of them? That's the question, and a question well worth asking yourself. But let's get turning some cards over and see what we've actually got here. Card number 1 is this one. It's the 8 of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so this is a good one to have at the beginning of the journey if you picked all 3, actually, because there's loads of potential here. It's a precarious situation, it's difficult, and however you actually got into this situation, getting out is going to be a challenge, but it's very far from impossible. You know, Alice could actually slip the bonds there and get away from that position of being tied up. But, you know, really just not easy. She'd have to wriggle out of the blindfold, and then she'd have to wriggle out of the swords, and she doesn't actually know if anybody's watching her, but nobody is at the moment. But there's some options, you know. If you're in this situation, you can sort of wait and see if someone rescues you. There's no guarantee how long that would take, or, you know, what form that help would come in, or even if that help would ever come. So that's kind of maybe not the best way to go. Another way would mean that you would take responsibility. You'd actually rescue yourself, which Alice could do in that situation. Now, swords, they're all about decisions, certainly, and intelligence too. I don't think I say that enough about swords. So, you know, it's using your intelligence, particularly in the 8 of Swords here. So basically, Alice is quite smart in this story. She's quite clever about the way she deals with it, and that's the way you need to be. You need to sort of use your head. Pay close attention to your surroundings, what's going on around you. You can actually depend on the things you already know for sure, but be open to new ideas, be willing to think outside the box, and that will help you to take advantage of any opportunities, because there are actually opportunities, there are options, there are things you can do. The trick is to keep your head and actually use your mind, and just, you know that you can find a solution to the problem. It's the old visualize and believe make-believe thing. You most certainly can do that. Keywords here: feeling trapped, restricted, dangerous situation, limited options, helplessness, complex problems. All very negative sounding, but you know, you just know you can find your way out of this situation. You just know you can visualize it, you can believe it, and you can make it happen for the best. Okay, so there we have card number 1, card number 2. And it's the 5 of Wands this time, so we're into the wands, we're into the sort of the industrious thing of getting things done, you know. This card, it shows healthy competition, I guess, but the situation is more than the game it looks like it to be, you know, because people's egos are actually tied up with this. And whenever egos get involved, there's always going to be a problem somewhere along the line, because ego loves to make itself kind of feel better, I suppose, by crushing someone else's ego. That is the source of whatever problem is going on at the moment. And this is the middle card, so if you picked all 3, very much the heart of the matter. Something around other people's egos. Now this could be an actual game of some kind. It could be something to do with developing a business. It could be a family thing. It could be all kinds of things where several people are involved, or maybe just 2 people are involved. But unless you really sort of want the situation to blow up, you need to step back and actually prepare yourself. Think about your own ego, you know. It's crazy to think we should have no ego. Everyone's got an ego. It's a fact of life and the way things work. But you know, there's going to be more than enough ego involved in this situation already, so do try and kind of rein yours back a bit if you can, and keep a sharp eye for, you know, anyone who's sort of really out of order, being outrageous, doing something repeatedly that they shouldn't be doing. Also, you know, get ready to soothe people's egos, you know, because it is really ego based. Just help things go smoothly by doing that. Keywords here: competition, conflict, debate, group efforts, committees, strong personalities, differing opinions, no shared goal, that's a tricky one, and lack of leadership. So that, my friends, is card number 2 for the sign of Gemini. Let's find out what we've got for card number 3. Did you pick 3? If you did, it's this one. And it is the High Priestess. And this is rather good news as we come to the end of the Gemini reading, actually. Now, there is a situation here where people are not knowing what actually lies ahead of them. That could be you, that could be other people in this situation. And that is an important part of what this card is about. But the High Priestess is there because it's a moment of realizing that there's something beyond rational understanding, beyond rational kind of, you know, separating one thing from another. There's a desire to actually connect to the unseen world here. This is a very spiritual card. Entering worlds like anything to do with spirituality brings great rewards, as I'm always saying, but it's not really an easy thing, you know. Initiation needs to happen, and you know, if you're going into one of the healing disciplines or something like that, then you would need to be initiated by another person. That's how it works. I'm waiting for the end of the big you know, virus thing that's going around the world, because then I'm supposed to be being attuned to be a Reiki master, and I've been looking forward to that for ages, but I've just got to wait because it's not happening yet. But there's a glimpse here anyway, which might not be a really accurate glimpse of what the outcome could be, but it's looking positive. A big part of the message here is that Alice is actually allowed to go in between the twin towers here, and is actually allowed into the High Priestess's world. She's done everything, she's learned everything she needs to know to be able to make that happen. So there, friends, are 3 cards for the sign of Gemini. So let's turn these over, put them out of the way again, and see what we've got on the top of the pile. Now, let's have a look at these. Okay, so I've got the top 3. Let us lay them out and see what we've got. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. And this is going to be for the sign of Cancer. So Cancerians, which one do you want to choose? Do you want to choose two of them? Do you want to choose all three? It is entirely up to you. Did you pick card one? Let's turn it over and see what it is. And it's the Ace of Swords, always a very positive thing to start a reading with if you picked all three. Realization here, you know, the swords are all about kind of what's going on in the mind and how we use our sort of intellect, our brain in a situation. Now this is realization really, and because it's the Ace of Swords, it's an alchemical realization. It can change your way of thinking completely. Now this could be the answer to a difficult problem. It could be an insight that sort of opens your mind up and lets you see further into something, or maybe further out there to what you could actually achieve if you really went for it. It's also an idea that could maybe change the world, or at least change your part of the world. You've got to use this gift gently because it really is a gift. Tread softly, you know, step carefully, particularly sort of in the real world, as it were, on the earth, in the hearts and minds of fellow people around you. Keywords here: logic, intellect, reason, truth, victory, decision, clarity, action plan, justice, knowledge, communication. So do you need to make that action plan? That's the question. I bet you could if you needed to. Okay, that's card number one. Let us turn over card number two and see what we've got here. Did you pick card number two? Here it comes. It's the right way up again, all very straightforward. And it's the Knight of Wands. Now there he is on his horse with the wand, really ready to do battle, ready to do business and make things happen. Now this is someone who, well, all the knights are really very focused, and so, you know, he's no exception. He knows what he wants, you know, he's got an idea, something he's aiming for. He'll use all his talents, everything he's got to actually achieve it. He'll give it everything he's got, and he won't care who gets trampled along the way, basically. So if this is you, think about that one actually, because that could have repercussions later on in your sort of journey towards achieving your plan. Now, on the other hand, this might be someone who wants you to support their own cause, you know, and the Knight of Wands will try and charm you into supporting what he's all about. It can actually be a bit of a bully. What his anger indicates might actually make you want to comply, but that's not so positive. If you don't really want to go along with this situation, just kind of keep out of his way, really, because he's busy, he's focused, and he'll actually, you know, his attention span will move on. If you actually want to get him to help you, you know, appeal to his ego. He's a lion. He's essentially very Leo-like, really. So appeal to that lionesque instinct. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, it's entirely up to you whether you want to go along with this or not. That's the bottom line. Keywords here: focused, goal-oriented, short attention span, charming, bully, strong ego, honourable and courageous. So that's quite a mixed bag again. And that, my friends, is card number two. Let's see what card number three for the sign of Cancer is. We'll have a quick look at this one. Card number three. Did you pick card number three? If you picked all three, this is the outcome card, and it's looking a positive outcome there, actually. Four of Wands. What a lovely card to get. Now this sometimes involves a family situation, maybe a family celebration, something like that, and this might actually take your mind back to the festive season we've just been through. On the other hand, it might be a birthday, a celebration, something like that coming out. It's some kind of celebration, really. Could be the completion of something you've been working hard at. It could be a baby shower, a birthday party, could even be a wedding, actually. That is one of the meanings of this card for sure, but it's not so much the object of celebration that this card is about, but it's the event, you know, the actual celebration itself. So if you're putting something like this together, or if you're going to something like this, it needs thoughtful preparation. You need to kind of think through what's going on and do everything you can to kind of primp it and make it go as well as possible. It's only a temporary situation, you know, so this is a time when everyone can be on their best behaviour, even if it's just for a few hours, to enjoy whatever's going on with the celebration. And keywords we have here: holiday, party, celebration, gathering, honouring someone or something, successful completion of an endeavour, award, ceremony, communal achievement. So this looks like it's all going extremely well. We've just got the mystical cats here at the bottom, sort of saying, hey, hang on, let's think about this, because we've got a heavy roof on a house of cards, so it's not all going to be plain sailing, and that's a fact. Oh, now let's clear these up and let's see what we've got for the sign of Leo. We'll just pop those to one side there on this growing pile over here, and we'll see what we've got for the sign of Leo. Okay, let's take the top three off there, put those back, and so here we go. Card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. So Leo, what are you actually going to pick here? You're going to pick 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or all 3. It's entirely up to you. You can be your own psychic. That's how this channel rolls. That's what this is all about. And don't fear being your own psychic. You'll find that you can do it. You'll find it's a real thing. Okay, so card number 1. Did you pick card number 1? Here it is, and it's Temperance. We're in the major arcana, so this is quite an intense situation. This is kind of big news, as it were, and this card is kind of an invitation, you know. You don't absolutely have to go along with it, but it's a good, you know, there's an opportunity here to do something really positive in terms of mental, emotional, physical, spiritual maturity, you know, and being agile, being able to kind of adapt to things, and just poise, you know, being at your best, I suppose. It's a good thing to take some time in nature with this, if you get the chance to do that, and it's never an easy one, I know, but this is very much a nature scene. And Mr. Caterpillar here at the top of this fly agaric mushroom, at the top of the scene, smoking his pipe in the pink clouds and blowing the smoke out, he actually also appears as the wish card in other parts of this deck, and as the Magician as well. He's number 1, the Magician. So there's a lot of potential there for magic to happen and for things to actually get done and to turn out well. Now this card is really saying you yourself have got the grace to make changes in your life and make it look easy, so that you kind of bring other people along with you, that you inspire other people. Temperance really is the embodiment of wisdom, theory, and the beliefs you shout about, or really, you know, put out in your own life, have become such a part of you that you can actually express them quite naturally. So you're in a good place here, and if you kind of actually, you know, accept that invitation to practice all those things, then things are going to go exceptionally well. Keywords: temperance, obviously, self-control, balance, moderation, harmony, synthesis, bringing things together, patience, health, combination, joining things up again, blending, management, unification, synergy, there's a word, guides and angels. So an incredibly positive card there for card number 1, but it's on you to bring together a lot of different positive things that are going on. So think, you know, what could you actually do to make that happen, to make that real? Let's go to card number 2 for the sign of Leo, and it's another major arcana one. This time it's the Hierophant. Now the grinning Cheshire Cat in this deck is always all about Alice's own kind of intuition and her higher self, so that's what this is trying excuse me, that's what this is trying, dear friend, to bring out in you if you picked card number 2. If you picked all 3, this one's the heart of the matter. So it's an invitation to really kind of look inside yourself, think about what you've been doing and how life's actually been going, and measure that against what you believe, what's important to you. Is it actually lining up? That's the question. Now, if things still feel wrong, then it could very well be time to re-examine the principles you live your life by. And if you find there's a difference between the way you want to behave, the way you want to live your life, and what's actually really happening, or if it conflicts with your beliefs. You know, as a lot of us, you know, it's a big problem in the modern world. A lot of us are sort of driven really to kind of live lives maybe not the way we want to, because somehow we've got to fit in with work, and we have got to make money, but it's all worth thinking about. Possibly if you pick this card, you're going to be a bit confused about which way to go, you know, and it's something the cards can guide you with. But this card is really saying that you don't need to take any advice from outside, but like I always say, be your own psychic, be your own hierophant, look inside yourself and just do the things which in your heart of hearts you know are the right things. Keywords here: education, teaching, learning, knowledge, tradition, conforming to things, institutions, group identity gets involved in this. Think about your values, look for guidance, but look for it within yourself. And the status quo, social conventions, things like that come quite strongly into it. Okay, so let's turn over card number 3 for the sign of Leo. And what have we got? It's the 10 of Pentacles. Now this is a lovely card to get. This offers the chance of a rest, actually. This allows you to kind of cool things down a bit. If things have been particularly intense or tiring in some way. What we actually have here is... You can see Alice is asleep on the chair having a real good rest. She's got the cat down here, and a little cat up here as well, showing that link to her higher self, which is active even though she's asleep. And we've got ancestors in picture frames at the top of the card, and they're looking down lovingly at her. And this really is the benefit of coming from a stable, loving kind of family. And you know, we don't all actually have that much good luck in our lives, but we can find friends, you know, we can find people who support us. And this card really shows that you do have that on some level. You know, you might have to look for it, but it's definitely there. There's a kind of comfort in tradition here as well, and you know, family and people and friends often bring obligations and make things a bit dysfunctional, things that, you know, come into the picture that we maybe can do without. But at the same time, you know, all those connections do benefit all of us. And so this card is a reminder to actually value the benefits of the society, of the people around you who are your kind of your soul group, and honor them within your own life. Material and spiritual stability are really important gifts that really go with that major overall gift of life. And it's something family members give each other, or, you know, social groups that really support each other will give those things to each other. And if that's not the case for you, you know, look outside the situation. Try and bring something more positive in. Keywords here: stable family, security, wealth, abundance, comfort, roots, plans for the future, connection, balanced and happy life. So there we are. This brings us to Virgo. Let's take the Leo cards out of the picture and pop them over here and take up the deck. Excuse me. And let's take the top 3 cards off the deck. And so this is going to be for the sign of Virgo. So we have got card number 1, and you've got to pick a card or pick all 3. Card number 2 there, and card number 3. Let's see where we're going with this then. Okay, card number 1 for the sign of Virgo. Did you pick number 1? If you did, this is your card. If you picked all 3, this is the beginning, and it's the 8 of Pentacles. Lots of abundance showing through in the Pentacles, actually. It's always a very positive suit to be dealing with here. So, really, this is about the rewards of hard work. You know, we can see it's not easy to, that's just totally the wrong tool for the job, to have a great big pencil like that. But the character here, who looks very kingly, is actually making it happen. He's got all his artwork going up the wall here. It might not seem to make a lot of sense when you're doing this work, but it is actually going to bring rewards. And, you know, the more it's going to be more rewarding, the more you put into it, the more diligent you are. are about doing it properly. In this sort of world where everyone's got hacks, and I'm sure you've all seen YouTube adverts showing instant experts and things like that, this is actually all about honing things to perfection and really being crafty about things. But you know, this card really shows that, as is happening in real life, the things we kind of like to see, you know, happening as fast as possible, as long as it's good enough, not worrying about the details, that is actually waning in real life, and we're rediscovering the joy and the satisfaction of high quality work. And this card really shows that, you know, because the most important way to make things really happen for the best and really happen well is to practice, do things again and again. Having the materials, having the teaching even will only get us so far. It's hands-on experience that matters, making mistakes, that kind of thing. Real practical experience is the way to be good at what's happening. So if you're kind of embarking on a new project or just seeing a project to completion, this is where you're at now, and this is where it's going. The Eight of Pentacles. So let's see what card number 2 could possibly be. And it's the King of Pentacles. We're in Pentacles again. We're doing very well with Pentacles here, I cannot help noticing. Okay, so the King of Pentacles, and this is the heart of the matter if you picked all 3 here. King of Pentacles really loves life and you know, celebrates the pleasures of life. It's very true that you can get away with the bare minimum, you know, that'll keep any person going. That'll kind of keep you alive, but that's like an existence, you know. A life is something better than that, a much kind of happier situation. And the King of Pentacles here, is the Mad Hatter, knows that it's better to have all this abundance all over the place. There's a cat meowing. 1 second, I'm just going to open my door and let the cat in. Oh, come on in, puss. You always choose your time, don't you? She's not a Leo either, she's an Aries, this one. Born in April. Very much an Aries, but there you go. She's in the warm, she's happy. So, King of Pentacles, really he's about kind of making a richer life in this material world by actually sharing what he's got with friends, with family. He's generous, but he won't be taken advantage of. If you want someone's help, and this seems to be that person, don't kind of try and put anything over on this person, or in, you know, in a situation you're in. Don't kind of falsify anything, whatever you do. You know, we're going back to the idea of authenticity that came in with the Eight of Pentacles there, because he just won't get interested in anything unless he can actually see you're serious about it. But show this person how your plan is actually going to, you know, be of benefit to them, and that way they're going to want to invest in you, you know. The King of Pentacles' enjoyment of life is going to be increased through good company, being efficient with time or materials. So this card's really saying get your ducks in a row. Keywords here: authority figure, decision maker, power, experience, prosperous, creator of wealth, values material world and beauty. Those 2 things do go together, they're both important. And generous and practical are 2 other keywords that are really deeply associated with this card. Okay, so that is card number 2 for the sign of Virgo. What have we got for card number 3? This is the question. Oh, it's Pentacles again. And they had a good old shuffle, but there you go. They're obviously meant to come out this way. The Sheep Shopkeeper, one of my favourite cards, this, the Queen of Pentacles. And what happens with this card, I've told you the story so many times. Alice is allowed to choose what she wants because she's actually earned the right to do that. You know, she's kind of done the work, put the work in, and now she deserves her reward. So she goes to the sheep shop to get her reward, and she chooses an egg. But the Queen here of Pentacles, who is the sheep shopkeeper, won't take it off the shelf and give it to her. She says she has to take it, reach out and take it for herself. So there's encouragement here to figure things out for yourself, but at the same time, the Queen of Pentacles means that somehow you won't be allowed to fail. Someone will step in and save the day, so you can kind of trust the universe to bring along what needs to happen and make things good for you. if you're actually asking someone else, as maybe an authority figure or someone senior in some way, try and be friendly about it and appeal to the practical side of it. If you ask someone to teach you when you've got this card and you're actually willing to get stuck in, then you're really going to get places. So keywords here, excuse me, ally, confident, helper, sorry, confidant. You know, someone you can confide in, a helper, an authority figure, someone who's accomplished, someone who's resourceful, someone who's generous. And for you, it's about learning and teaching through experience. You know, the two things go together. It's life is a two-way street like that. It always is. So there, friends, we have the sign of Virgo. Righty-tighty, let's pop these away and pop them over to one side and see what comes off the top of the deck next. I had a grand old shuffle before I did this, trying to save a bit of time, you know, so the video is more about actually getting the message out than shuffling and stuff like that, because I'm sure you're all fully aware of how to do that. So here we go. Libra, card 1. Libra, card 2, Libra, card 3. Librans, what are you going to choose? Or if you know, maybe it's absolutely cool, it's absolutely fine to, you know, look up someone else's star sign in these videos. It's all good information, it's all good stuff. So you can pick 1, 2, or 3, or all 3. It's up to you. Let's turn over card number 1 for the sign of Libra. It's the Emperor, and there is a lover of balance. Is there not? He's kind of very, very good at kind of balancing things, making things last, and getting the best out of situations. Now, he's really here to remind us, I suppose, as much as anything, that we are in charge of our own lives. The Empress teaches us there's a season for everything. The Emperor actually listens to that kind of the goddess energy teaching, and he knows, obviously, that food isn't going to be available all the time, so he makes sure that he can survive the winter and that the people around him can survive. Not just the winter, but I suppose in the wider meaning of the card, that there are going to be resources. Use resources wisely. So you need to think, if you pick this card, number 1, you need to think about those resources, what you've got, maybe what you haven't got, try to manifest it, to bring it in, get that manifesting head on again. And even when you plan your own life, when you're acting as an emperor for yourself, you've got to realize your action will actually affect other people as well as just the world around you. So there's a calling here for broad vision. The shamans would say that whether a person does or doesn't agree with their culture, everyone needs to accept their responsibility in creating that culture, in making things the way they are, rather than kind of blaming people or a group of people for things. You know, take some responsibility yourself is what this card is saying. You know, we can all be emperors, basically, and the idea is to try as hard as the dodo in this card is doing to actually do the best with what you have. This card is about stability, structure, power, authority, leadership, control, protection, order, the boss, a father figure, ambitions, reasoning things out, and coming from a place of logic, and actually confidence. And you can take that whichever way you want to take it, actually. If you don't feel confident, there's a reason to take heart and be confident, because you actually can do it. That is the message in a big way. So let's turn over card number 2, see what we've got here. It's number 7 in the major. We're in the major arcana again. This one is the Chariot, and you can see Alice yet again hasn't actually been given the right tools to do her job. It's the mad world of Wonderland. So the Chariot, always, you know, improvement and success, going on that journey through things you've learned and actually applying the things you've learned to the journey ahead of you. It's representative of the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, and the Lovers, all the cards that come before it. basically, because this is the journey of the major arcana. So all the lessons from all those other cards come together and give you that ability to move through life as, you know, really at the top of your game, or at the, you know, as high up in your game as you can be, I guess is a good way to put it. The tools for the job aren't right here, but it is a journey towards success. It's a journey to making things right, and it is the middle card. It's the heart of the matter, so no surprise that the Emperor's skills are involved here. But everything before this card in the major arcana is actually a part of what's going on. Keywords here: drive, ambition, control, direction, determination, success, triumph, victory, will, movement, progress, speed, travel, because it is a journey, conquest, and battle. So let's get on now to card number 3 and see what we've got here. Will it be major arcana again? No, indeed, it's the 9 of Cups. So if you picked all 3, this is your outcome. If you just picked the 9 of Cups, this is your card. And this used to be called the Wish card. I think sometimes, well, actually, it still is called the Wish card, because I call it that. But that's its sort of ancient tarot name, and it's the name that fortune tellers would use when they're reading from the tarot. A nice surprise is indicated here. Could be a bit annoying, I suppose. Could be a bit kind of overdone, overstated, but you know, this really is a nice card. I mean, who wouldn't want a wish to come true? Whether it's a big wish or a small wish, who knows? But it looks like it's actually going to work out here, because there's the promise of a wish being granted, and here too there's some advice about how to actually make it come true. And what you need to have is gratitude as much as anything else. All the cups are here. I guess all the cups are full, because he's drinking or smoking out of them through his pipe thing, his hookah pipe thing here. So I'm sure he's having a good time. He's got his gentleman smoking fez cap thing on there. So really try and be grateful for what you have. That really helps manifest things in the future. You know, it's a big part of manifesting what you want, is actually looking for the blessings in your current situation. This card is saying that, you know, you will actually get what you would like to get, and you're going to like it when it comes. We sometimes say be careful what you wish for, but that isn't the message of this card. But, you know, whether or not you're going to be happy or unhappy, that depends entirely on you. So keywords here: wishes, fulfilled wishes, contentment, satisfaction with life, pride, hospitality, sensuality, worldly pleasures, basically, and happiness. Okay, so there we have Libra. So let's have another tidy up from Libra. As balanced as Libra is, we've got to just tidy those up there. Scorpio next. Let's have a look at the deck. Take off the top 3. Okay, put that back. And here we have card number 1 for Scorpio, card number 2 for Scorpio, and card number 3 for Scorpio. Okay, which one are you going to pick, Scorpio? 1, 2, 3, 2 of them, or all 3? It's up to you. You got to decide before you look at them. That's the bottom line. So card number 1 for Scorpio. What have we here? Major Arcana number 17, and it's the Star. Now the Star is always a reminder, you know, to kind of go back to basics, you know, in a way that nourishes you, in a way that actually builds you up. It may be even a case of going home or going back to a place that you used to get inspiration from, something that cleanses your mind. Nature is the guiding light here. Nature is what's actually clearing her mind in this card. There's the beautiful stars overhead, and she's getting that star energy as she looks down into the magical pool. Decisions get easier, you know, when you go to a place like an oasis, I suppose would be a good way to put it. Decisions get easy because then you're not driven by desperation, you're not driven by other people's opinions and influences, you're actually guided by your own North Star. And if you've ever had a birth chart done, you'll know all about the North Node. I do birth charts, by the way. If anybody would like one, do drop me an email. The link to my email address is down below. Also the link to my my coffee page. if you'd like to buy me or the channel a coffee. But anyway, yes, the internal North Star that we all have, it really shines out like those stars at the top of this card on a clear night, you know. And life isn't always clear, it's not always a clear night, but the stars are always there. So, you know, listen for the silence behind the noise, look for the stars behind the cloud. They really are there, and they remind us that the magic has been in us all along to help us actually live in this world, as hard a place as this world can be. So that magic is there in you. If you feel hopeless, then take heart, because all you've really got to do is get right down to basics, go to that oasis that makes you feel good, and actually live that truth. So that's card number 1. That is the star. Where are we going next, I wonder? Let's turn over card number 2. And it's the Queen of Cups. Okay, if you picked all 3, this is the heart of the matter. If you picked card number 2, this is for you. She's a dreamy character, the Queen of Cups. She gets lost in her thoughts, you know, and she tends to focus more on the world inside herself than what's actually going on around her, which sometimes is good, sometimes is not so good in a practical sense. But there's the symbology of water here, and one of the things that the water, the sea, actually represents here is the soul. It's the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Cups' soul. I'm sure the Queen of Hearts has water for a soul as well, but in this case we're looking at the Queen of Cups. Now, this character isn't all love and light, you know. She can be much too sensitive, she can be needy, she can actually be quite manipulative as well, particularly at an emotional level. But essentially, if you drew this card, this is about kindness being returned for kindness. So you know, if you want to draw in good things to yourself, put some good out there, but be sincere, because all the queens are intuitive, and this one, the Queen of Cups, is particularly gifted that way, and she'll know if she's being played. So keep it absolutely real. Keywords here: ally, confident, helper. I've said it again, confidant, not confident, confidant, someone you can confide in, a helper, authority figure, someone who's accomplished, maybe that part of yourself that's accomplished or introverted. There's intuition going on here. She's insightful, she's psychic, she's kind, and she's sensitive, and she's always needy as well. Not always, she's also needy. And you know, who isn't? We all have needs in this world. It's not a crime, it's not a crazy thing to have those needs. Card number 3. Okay, for the sign of Scorpio, and here we have the 6 of Swords, and here's the sheep shopkeeper lady here again, who turns up as the Queen of Pentacles in this reading. But actually, in this little 3-card spread that we've got here, or if you picked card number 3, this one's for you. She's actually the 6 of Swords, and she's the boat keeper. In the traditional tarot images that we're all kind of used to, this would be the guy who's driving the boat. So the journey is kind of unknown, and Alice is looking back. All Alice can see is the rough water here, but she can see the smooth water ahead. She can see that it's seasonal. She can see the moon is up there, the moon is full, so loads and loads of potential. But of course the moon will keep on going round in those moon cycles, and although the trees are bare, they're only bare because they are actually going to have leaves on them very soon. So there's a definite indication of improvement there. It's a safe space, you know, and it's a space that is between one experience of reality and the next. So if you drew this card, then you're maybe coming out of a dangerous situation. Who knows? Different strokes for different folks. But you're certainly coming out of rough waters into smooth waters. Keywords here: journey, heading towards safety, escape, flight, travel, assistance, admitting defeat, which can be a big factor as in you know, making things work better. Just kind of cut your losses and move on. Also, you know, an impossible situation is passing, is moving forward into better times. There's protection here, and there's shelter here too. So those are the Scorpio cards. So of course this brings us to Sagittarius. Let's move Scorpio to one side, and let's take the first 3 cards off the top of the deck for the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, so Sagittarius card 1. There we are, Sagittarius card 2 and Sagittarius card 3, and I am a Sagittarius, so this is where I get my freebie. As a result of whatever it is I'm trying to do, make videos I suppose. Let's see what we've got here. Card number 1 for Sagittarius, 6 of Wands. If you picked card number 1, this is your card. If you picked all 3, this is the beginning of the journey. So 6 of Wands, let's see what we're looking at. I mean, there's a sort of pride in the knowledge that people have helped you here, and I need to acknowledge that as well. Victories don't happen in a vacuum. Anything you've ever really achieved is probably not just on your own merit. You might have actually done all the work, but happenstance will have come into it somewhere, you know. And to be really wise about this, you've got to remember all the people who supported you in your mission, all the good things that happened, and just, you know, this is an important part of manifestation. Again, it's that gratitude for how well things have gone, how well things have gone. People who actually help you achieve things also need to remember that they're supporting themselves by doing that. And if you've actually been supporting someone else, then that is a big kind of plank in your own platform, the platform on which you stand. So whether you're a leader or whether you've been helping someone else, it takes everyone's best efforts to accomplish something of true value. So this card is a reminder of that, and it's saying as you go forward, work together, stand together, be stronger and better together. And this is a good soul family thing, actually. The soul family is very helpful, and we do all have one. If you haven't found your soul family yet, keep putting out those feelers to make that happen, to make them come into your life, because they're out there. We're always seeking each other. I know some of us have found each other on this channel, and I'm very proud of this channel because of that. Keywords here: victory, honor, achievement, recognition, pride, public ceremony, accolades, accomplishment, success and triumph. And that is actually quite a nice brace of keywords there, is it not? So where is card number 2? Here it is. What is card number 2? I should have said. I know where it is. I can see it. There we go. Number 6. We're in the major arcana again. And this one is the Lovers. Now, if this is a love reading for you, this actually looks incredibly positive. But it's an incredibly positive kind of a card anyway. It suggests that there might be a love interest going on. But it's also, inviting you to think about what love is, what the nature of love is, how that actually guides your choices. There are so many different sort of variations on love and what it means, but we all know what it means to us, so that's the way to focus. Now, is the love that's going on in your life ego driven, either by you or the other person, or is it kind of a patient thing, a real sacred kind of love? Is love benefiting you or the person you love, or is it diminishing you or them in some way? Got to think about that. Got to be kind of practical about that, I guess. And just, ask yourself, is love hurting you? Because love can be like that at the moment. Maybe you feel you're following fleeting emotions without actually questioning them. This isn't actually telling you to do anything. This is telling you to think about it, think seriously about it. The Queen is very strict here, and both Alice and the King obviously have got some thinking to do. Keywords here: choices, crossroads, trust, communication, relationships, partnerships, togetherness, love, affection, sexuality, harmony, engagement, attractions, and also duality. So there is quite a long list of keywords to think about. You might actually want to use the skip back button and look a bit deeper into some of those to really find out where you're at, because that is a tall order. But it's the Lovers. It's a great card. It's very positive. It's kind of higher heart chakra. It's kind of pink. It's kind of lovely. What is card number 3 going to be all about, though? If you picked all 3, this is the outcome card. If you picked number 3, this one is yours, and it's all a bit of an illusion, really. The 7 of Cups. What's going on in the background here? Very hard for us to tell, but she's doing the sensible, wise thing, looking away from it and just enjoying the happiness of it. It's kind of an enjoyable moment there. This card's about creativity as much as anything, and what you need to do is lean into your imagination. There's a lot of possibilities in this world. Some things are out there that you can go and actually grab if you want to. You might be a bit scared of doing that, even if you don't know why you're scared of doing that. It might be something pulling at your heart. It might be something pulling at your attention, and particularly in relationships. If this is a relationship reading for you, if that's what's on your mind, then you might actually be having your attention drawn, even though you don't really want to kind of go in that direction, you know. What's really important here is that whatever dreams you actually spend the most time nurturing are the ones that are going to manifest. So put your sort of manifestational gaze in the right direction if you can. Make sure you're happy with it, because your imagination is incredible. Every human being has that, and every human being has the most amazing, the most unlimited creative power. So celebrate that, friends. Keywords here: confusion, fantasies, choices, imagination, dreams, illusions, lack of focus, and wishful thinking. Just, you know, keep it real, but enjoy the moment, because it's a beautiful one. So there is Sagittarius, and I'm taking heed of all three of those, actually, because I am a Saggy. Put them to one side. Let's take the top three again from the pile. Okay. Here we go, let's see. So, pick a card. Capricorn. Now we're on to Capricorn. Pick a card, Capricorn, or if you would like to, pick all three. There's 1, 2, and 3. So, let's turn over number 1. Whoa, major arcana, big things happening, big fireworks happening. And so, yeah, number 16, the Tower. A situation, a belief, some kind of value that you're guided by, something that means a lot to you. You know, really a powerful situation, but a transformation going on very close to the heart there. So actually quite disturbing, quite disconcerting. Doesn't mean anything bad's going to come of it, you know. A caterpillar doesn't change into a butterfly just sort of in one go. They have to go through quite an ordeal to change, you know, to go into a chrysalis and actually change into a butterfly. It's a transformation. Transformation is a messy kind of thing. That's the way it works. We don't always have the stomach for change, you know. It's a scary thing, but the universe is nudging you along and will actually help you with destroying what no longer serves you, with getting that out of your life and actually making those steps forward. Keywords here: sudden change, upheaval, adversity, downfall, destruction, catastrophe, misery, disaster, ruin, chaos, release. And then on the plus side, well, release is on the plus side, also awakening, freedom, and escape. So it's kind of stormy, it's kind of difficult, but you know, it's happening for real. There's no point trying to avoid it. Allow yourself to evolve, friends, and in that way go with the flow. That's card number 1. What have we got for card number 2? If you picked all 3, this is the heart of the matter. If you picked number 2, this one is yours. And it's number 12. It's the Hanged Man, who comes in just before the Death card, actually. But, you know, death isn't a bad thing in the tarot. The Death card isn't anyway. It's all about transformation, actually. So it comes, although it's a number before this one, which is 16, it is actually something that goes hand in hand with it very well. The Hanged Man is really telling you to be patient, to just wait to see what happens. Even if you really want to make something happen and be proactive, choosing to do nothing is actually a choice. It can be the right thing to do. So you'd be waiting for an important kind of state of understanding before you can really continue and go forward. Some people might think you're being a traitor to the mainstream culture by dropping out, as it were. A lot of people are, when they're seeking alternative ways of understanding the world. So don't feel bad about that. You might actually have to give something up as you go forward. Time, position, status, old values, outdated beliefs. If you can give those things up, especially the bits that no longer serve you, then that will be exchanged for new wisdom. It will kind of big things up. It's not a really comfortable position, this, you know. The guy's hanging upside down. Doesn't look great, does it? And the clock is ticking behind him as well. But at the same time, you know, there's going to be a good result. That's the good news. the situation here isn't going to last forever. Things are going to change. They're going to change for the better. The more positive thinking you put in, the better the outcome is actually going to be. This is about enlightenment. Keywords here are reversal, letting go, sacrifice, suspension, surrender, withdrawal, restriction, crisis, delay, restraint, detachment, enlightenment, transformation and initiation. There is a great big long list of keywords associated with that card, but I guess you know where it's at. I think it's worth reading them all out because you know, this isn't a huge channel, but maybe kind of 60-70 people are going to watch this reading, maybe more than that. That's my affirmation. You know, thousands of people one day will watch these readings, maybe even today, or if you're watching in the future, maybe that's going to mean something to you as well. But a lot to take in there, but that's why it's worth hanging around a little bit to make sense of it all. Okay, so that's card number 2 for the sign of Capricorn. The third Capricorn card, if you picked number 3, this is it. If you picked all 3, this Capricorn is your outcome, and it's the Death card. Very intense spread this for Capricorn, actually. They're all major arcana. They're all quite powerful images as well. Now the Death card is a real scary kind of an image, and it's a scary kind of a situation as well. It's number 13, you know, which is that number that is seen as being unlucky for a lot of people, but it's quite a magical number and it can be lucky for you. So you know, whatever scares you, face it head on, and it might very well become a lucky situation for you. Alice is blowing the candle out here, so she's actually saying goodbye to the past, letting go of what doesn't serve her anymore. And in some ways she's a red pill girl, because she's drunk from the blue bottle and she's eaten the Eat Me cake, which we all know about from the Alice in Wonderland stories. So it's all a little bit crazy, it's all a little bit out there, but thinking outside the box is so important here, you know, because it's not a dying, a death, it's the death of the old ways and it's the birth of the new. So there, Capricorn, are your 3 cards. So inevitably, of course, it's time to move on to Aquarius. So let's move Capricorn over to the side here, and I'll turn over the top 3 cards of the pile again for the sign of Aquarius. Okay, got the 3 out now. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, Aquarius, here are your 3 cards. Card number 1. Do you pick card number 1? Do you pick card number 2? Or are you going to pick card 3? Or are you going to go nuts and pick all 3 of them, which you can do if you like? Card number 1 for the sign of Aquarius. What have we got? And we've got the Hermit, and this is number 9. This can be a tricky one, particularly for the Aquarius temperament. You know, you guys are so creative and so sort of outreaching in your minds and your way of thinking. And this, of course, is a Hermit card. This is all about looking within yourself. So maybe looking in a different direction to the way that sort of nature made you want to look. It's worth it, though. We can see Alice in the background there, and she's waving the handkerchief, because this character, who actually shows up as the Knight of Cups in this deck as well, is riding off into the distance on his horse, and she's almost tearful to see him go, but she will see him again, only by then she'll have turned into a woman, which is very much the story of Alice in Wonderland, and that's how it threads itself into the tarot story. That's how it all works together. So after the rest has been taken, whether it's you taking the rest, Aquarius, or you're having to say goodbye to someone else to let them take a rest, which is another meaning of this, things will work out, you know, but things will never be the same again, and that's nothing to really be upset about, because that is how it works in life, you know. Things are never the same again. I will go to bed tonight, I'll get up tomorrow in the same house. It'll be a different day with different stuff going on. That's a fact of life. That's the crazy way that this universe works. That's what we're given to work with, and that's what we've got to deal with. So there we go, card number 1. What is card number 2? This is the heart of the matter. If you picked card number 2, it's your card. If you picked all 3, it's the heart of the matter. And it's the 10 of Swords. I often call this one a bloodless coup. You know, there's no blood there, but there is a human body all cut up to bits and really shattered. That's how it looks. We see shards of broken pottery around the place as well, and bits of people. But if we look closely, it's actually not so much bits of people as bits of their clothes. So it's the way the situation is rather than exactly where you are yourself at this time, Aquarius. This just means, you know, things have to be allowed to be broken down before you can really go forward in faith and feel happy with where you are in life, or rather where you're going to be in life, because this is midway on a journey. Even if you just pick this one card, I would say that same thing actually. Behind here, we've got the sun rising behind the grey wall. We've got positivity coming back. You know, the whole thing is going in cycles. That's how these things work. The grey wall, even though it's a solid stone wall, has actually dipped down a bit in the middle there to make way for the sunrise to come. So this is really kind of shattering things to bits. It's a lot like the death card in some ways, but it's a very different meaning. It just means you've kind of got to go through whatever's happening at the moment or whatever's about to happen. You've got to go through it if you're going to come out the other side. And it's really not all bad. There is definitely the promise of a golden dawn, as it were, rising up there. It's a very cloudy sky, but there's a lot of blue in it as well. So there are a lot of really great possibilities involved in this card. So that's the 10 of Swords, card number 2 for Aquarius. What is card number 3 for Aquarius going to be? If you picked card 3, this is yours. If you picked all 3, this is the outcome. And it's not that much of an outcome really, is it? Because it's number 10, Major Arcana again. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. Alice and the White Rabbit are chasing each other like absolute crazy people on the wheel here. We've got playing cards in this scene as well. Some of the playing cards we can only see the back of, and that means that parts of the situation are unknown and you're not going to find out what they are. It's kind of game on, it's all to play for. And in terms of it being all to play for, the cards that we can see the faces of are symbolizing things that are either we know at the moment or which are going to be revealed soon. So game on, no easy finishing line coming into sight here, but it is a very real Wheel of Fortune. You might feel like you're on a treadmill, you might feel like you're not getting anywhere, or it could be the other kind of thing, like a hamster's wheel, you know, where the hamster's got no idea why he's running around, but he's getting exercise and becoming healthier. So really quite a positive one in its own way. We've got a chessboard down there underneath the Wheel of Fortune, which has all the clock numbers, the Roman numerals of a clock face on it, and the chessboard down there is also indicative that there's a game on. So there's a game going on, and you know, maybe you feel you've got no time to lose, but that's life. It's just going to take as long as it takes, because the situation isn't entirely in your hands and it isn't entirely under your control. That's the facts of life on that one. So we will clear Aquarius away to one side here and see what comes up for the sign of Pisces. Okay, let's take the top 3. Okay, put those back. And what have we got? Card number 1 for Pisces, card number 2 for Pisces, card number 3 for Pisces. So we'll turn over the first one, and it's the 2 of Cups. This is a very positive card, actually. It marks the beginning of a relationship. Could be quite intense, quite likely a long-term relationship as well. It often means, well, we often think it's going to mean a romantic relationship, but actually it can be any sort of relationship. A new friend, a new love of life, a new career, and a lot of people's careers are kind of on the carpet at the moment, on the change. Things are happening and things are moving. So this card is acknowledging the potential of a new relationship. It doesn't guarantee it, but there is great potential there. This could be like when you meet someone that you just click with. You know, that's really what this card is all about. A spark of excitement, you know, part of your soul recognizing a kindred spirit. I'm going to keep moving really fast. I'm sorry about this, Pisces, but my memory card is about to run out, so I'm going to keep on moving. Card number 2. Heart of the matter if you picked all 3. If you picked 2, this is your card. And this one is the 7 of Wands, and there's that crazy battle going on there. This is a situation where you've got to take a stand against probably, well, odds that feel harder than they really probably are. But there's chaos swirling around, and you will be able to keep your balance and keep your head if you stay true to your ideals and fight for what is right. The important thing really is to defend your version of the truth, your vision of the truth, the way you see things. You know, that matters more than winning. Hang on to those convictions, tap into your own courage, and just face everything that's coming at you with as much integrity as you can. Card number 3 for Pisces. Really rushing, sorry about this, but I'll get the meaning out. This is the way it works, and I'll get a bigger memory card for next time too. 4 of Swords. This chap is taking a rest. He's tied these 3 swords up in the air. They're hanging over him, but it's okay. They're tied up nice and safe and secure, so it's actually going to be fine. And there's another sword down on the ground here in case he needs to wake up and suddenly defend himself and start making things happen. When you get this card, you can it's one of those where you can ask the angels to see your responsibilities, either to completion or to look after them until you're ready to come back into the game. But a rest is needed. Don't be afraid to take one. If you picked all 3, you're really going to need a rest after this. And this as well, because this is beautiful, but it's kind of intense as well. Okay, Pisces, sorry that's a short one. I'll get a bigger memory card next time. I'm learning and I'm kind of growing all the time. Hope you guys are too. Okay, so that is the sign of Pisces, and that is the cards. So there you have it. That's it. Sorry, I've got to wrap this one up very quickly before the memory card runs out. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. Visit my coffee page if you like. There's loads of kind of pictures of life from around here down there. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. That's what it's all about. I'll be back with more readings soon. If not before, right? If you don't get a chance to look in before, do look in Wednesday night, 8:30 UK time, which is 2:30 in the afternoon Central. I'll be going live then. We've been having some great fun and some great energy on the live readings, and I can actually work one-to-one with you that way, which is what I love to do. Anyway, meanwhile, thanks so much for watching. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, please, and I'll see you again very soon. Love, light, blessings, and peace.